Hello YouTube, this is Rob. This is another small short Cummins video. So I got an 07 Dodge 3500 and it's only got 85,000 miles on it. I'm doing this quick video on fuel filters. There's quite a few out there. So, but you know, I think the reason I'm doing this is there's some really good ones on there all the way from 10 years ago. But each one has a little different twist, it seems like. But my point is this: I think last time I had the oil changed by the Dodge dealer, and it was usually 80 bucks. I do it every 5,000 miles, which I think I might go to 7,500. They use the Ford diesel motor. It's like a synthetic blend. But I said, yeah, I probably should put the new fuel filter in. You know, and they're like, well, it's 175 bucks, and I'm like, okay, that's all right. So I went ahead and ordered this from Geno's. I can't remember what it was, 15, 20 bucks, 15, I don't know, maybe more now. This has probably been a year ago I bought that. Everything else is going up in price, but at any rate, it's like, oh, I got to change it myself. I mean, I had the money to pay it, I guess, but this is something that looks like everything I've read is pretty easy. I have a ratchet on there. It's an 1.1/8" socket. So that's what I'm using. I could pull it out real quick to show you. It's you know, they have special sockets evidently and everything else, but I have this stuff here, but I figured it fits in there no problem. So I'm gonna go ahead and just 1.1/8" with a 1/2 inch socket ratchet. I'll put it on there. But my point on this is, and you see the yellow tab down there, evidently they're on the 03 to the, that's this thing here. One of the things I did do, because I wanted to, a couple of the videos, is I used a hose. So the black hose is in there. I'm hoping you can see the black hose up in there. I'll wiggle that. You can see the green on it. So I just took a garden hose. I had an old one I cut. I'm going to drop it down into this. So I could use a liter bottle, but this is glass, and we're going to use it. We do a lot of burning, you know, for yard waste. So I'll use that to start it, so that way it won't go to waste. But anyway, so the point is I put that on there to, you know, keep it, you know, I don't want to hurt the environment. And then, so yeah, so that's the thing is I'm going to save the money. So if I can do it, you can do it, right? So that's kind of what I'm at here. So we got a nice clean stock, except for the exhaust brake I put on it, which is working. I did have a vibration in that thing. I never did follow up on the video, so maybe I'll throw it in here. But basically, I had a vibration when I was hitting the exhaust brake going down grades. It wasn't like that at first. So I talked to Pack Brake, and you know, because it was only a few months old, and they're like, well, here's probably your exhaust manifold. And I had no huge leaks, so what I did was, okay, well, I sprayed some soapy water on it when I first started it up, and it was leaking. There were some bubbles coming out around this. So I paid a shop local. It wasn't too bad, a few $100 to put a 2-piece manifold on it. So you know, you can see a little soot here probably. So there is some, you know, it's a press fit. But anyway, and I still get a little bit. So I need to do some more pulling with it though. But one of the good things is when they do the exhaust manifold, the back hose back there, there's 2 fluid hoses in here. And I don't know if I could see. Let me get my, hold on here. Let me get my little ladder. Let's see if I can do it without, you know, whatever. I don't want to scratch paint or anything. Any rate, so there's a hose right in there. I can't see where that one goes, so it's not doing good. There's 2 hoses. Actually, it's, what am I doing? No, is it that one? No, I don't think it's that one. There's 2 hoses. They're silicone hoses, and they have special clamps on them in here. Hold on, let me get my flashlight so we can see what we got going. So you see the red hose in there. It's that orange red hose back behind the manifold. You see those special clamps on it? So that's right back there. Yeah. So anyway, it had regular like brake or radiator hose type clamps that you know, and I want to say they were stock. This engine only had 85,000 miles. I was a second owner, and I know the other guy, it wasn't changed. And I heard some people had them and some didn't. My father-in-law, he has a 07 like this, but it's an automatic. Anyway, he had the right clamps on there. So mine was leaking a little, so I tightened it and it stopped. Anyway, I decided when they did the manifold, that was the time. There's two hoses. I had them change them both. I had them, but you see videos on there that's painful, so it's best to do it when you have the exhaust and turbo out. Okay. And then you can see this little bracket here they had to modify because of the way it's set up. You got to cut it off. Anyway, they did that. So let's get back to the task at hand. So I need to drive it more, and if there is any more rattle or something, I'll have to replace it. But it was noticeable, so I don't know if it's in the butterfly or what. I'm not going to worry about it. It's past the turbo. If something goes wrong, it's not going to hurt it. You know where the butterfly is for the, well, I assume it's not going to hurt the turbo. It's right there, but the turbo is right up in here. So that's kind of the exhaust side, so I'm not worried about it. But you know, replacing this, there's no more leaks on that. New gasket, mated fine. I checked it. This could leak a little, I guess. It's kind of a, you know, a point where when it warms up, it gets a little seals it. I'd rather have it leak there than anywhere else. This thing puts a tremendous amount of back pressure on it. That's how it works. So, all right, let's get on. I don't want to blind you here. I have got some new lights. These FET Costco setup. Not cheap, but I'm tired of not having little flashlights and stuff, not being able to see. So I got these set up. I want to be able to see inside that canister when I do it to, you know, make sure there's no gunk in there. I keep reading about the gunk. So I'm going to pull this apart, take the filter out, and I'm going to look in there. I hear different things. If I see a bunch of stuff, I'm going to have to see about using a brush or something. And I like Thoroughbred Diesel did a nice video of it where you turn the key and you can see the diesel flush down in there, and then you you know, work on, keep the drain lever open, and then just make sure it's clean. That's my understanding. One other little thing, you can see the silver number 5 injector. Actually, yeah. It's got a whole new sleeve the way it bolts on in there. I'm telling you what, the rest of these have the little blue, then number 4 next to it. You can see the little blue pinch thing there. Well, my number 5 pinch thing, it was on there at, what was it, 60,000 miles I checked it. Everything looked good. Went on a trip to Reno. Well, I went down to Arizona, and I was on the way back coming out of Reno. It was almost a several week trip. Now I started losing fuel pressure, and that number 5 cracked. So had it towed to Reno Dodge, and I knew that kind of was it, but that is a brand new clamp system. It doesn't use the pinch on number 5. So it's supposed to be number 6. There's supposed to be something different with the motor mount, or the way the mount's pulled up. I think, I'm assuming this has had it done. I think it might have been it's a, you know, an 07, so it's the latest 0759. Any rate, that's done. So I'm hoping, you know, I have no more issues. Because that left me stranded. It was 30 degrees. It was cold. Had a 5th wheel trailer, the dog and the wife. So it all worked out. We ended up getting where we needed to go. I'm going to go ahead and loosen this thing up. I marked that green tape on there on the front. I just want to kind of know when I put it back on where I'm at. You hear one guy just finger tight it. You hear another guy cinch it. You hear, I think it's like anything else. You got to be very careful with the cap is what I understand, threading it on. So that's what I saw on a Thoroughbred Diesel video. He really struggled pushing that thing down. It was really tight. So I'll see what, you know, some of them just seem like they just slid down. So we'll see where we get on this. Already broke free. It was pretty simple to So I'm trying to record this too, though. It's actually a lot of resistance there, so it's still pretty tight. See, I'm at a quarter turn now with the green tape. So I'm getting close to half. There's half. Okay, so one turn, I think I can do it by hand now. Let me take this off. Be careful here. I'm going to go ahead and get my hand in there. There we go. I'm going to go ahead. Once I got this loose, okay, it is off there now, so I'm going to go ahead and release the... Oh, I'm leaking diesel, so I'm going to go ahead and open the drain up. So the drain is open. Let's see if he's draining down okay. Yep, we're hitting that just right on the money. So good deal. Let's do that. So next time, so you learned from this video. I thought I'd crack it loose for that, but I'm going to go ahead and it's dripping down a little. It's not a big deal. I'm going to go ahead and wipe it down a little here. Okay. Got some on the hoses in there a little. Yeah, so next time, you just learn from me, right? Gotta get it in there. Yeah, well, one thing you could do is just put a rag under it. So I got a little bit of diesel spill there. Not too bad, it'll dry off. But I tell you what, when I had this diesel leak there, talk about diesel everywhere. Wow. And they lightly power washed. They cleaned it. I don't know how they did it at the Dodge dealer, but they cleaned up most of underneath, and I did that as well. But because it was spraying diesel, you got 15, 20,000 psi spraying out. I had a cloud of diesel smoke going out underneath the truck leaving Reno towards Bordertown, and I tell you what, I'm like looking out, I'm thinking, is that smoke? And I'm like, is that smoke? And it's like, no. I pulled over, it was just pouring diesel out, So, if you know what you're doing on these things, I looked it up real quick. Sure enough, number 5, I looked at it, and so I wrapped a rag around it just to keep the spray off the hood. But in reality, if I had vice grips, I would have just kinked it there. I could have kinked it, and I probably could have. And I was able to restart it. And so I don't know if they had to go through a process. There was a point where I got safe. We had to go to get a safe off the road there. So I think it's about done draining here. Yep, it's done draining. So I'm going to go ahead and leave the petcock open. Some people close it. Let's see if I can get this thing out of here. All right. Oh, it is tough. It's not coming up. The diesel filter is not coming up. I'm going to go ahead and I got to get my hands off this camera. So good. I was able to get both hands on it and pull on it. So I think it almost tried to pull off the... I'm going to go ahead and put a rag down here and catch this. So it's ready to come out, but it almost pulled off the filter. The filter's up. So I'm going to... I don't think I can get this. Let me get this, see if I can get it out of here. So I'm gonna get it out. I have a feeling it's probably drained enough, but I don't want to make a freaking mess. Oh, well, there's more draining. I'm gonna go ahead and pull it out here. So let me get some. I got wires and things in the way. Everybody knows how that works, right? I'm gonna go ahead and get it out of there like that. Okay. Oh, that looks pretty damn nasty. Wow, that is nasty. I have to say, I'm not real pleased with how that looks. So, I got one seam that's clean. Anyway, it looks pretty dirty. So I'm going to change the thing now. Like I said, when I pulled that up, it was pretty tight. It almost pulled the top of the filter off, which would have, or the cap off of it. But so let's go ahead and dispose of this. I'll be right back here and I'll look inside this thing. Okay. This is the new filter. I'll go ahead and pull this out, put this on the ring. Everybody's done this. There's a nice groove for it, so you can't mess it up. One thing I do note is you probably shouldn't twist it or anything like that. So it goes on there. There's a certain groove it'll fit right in. And you got the new filter. So it's got these little, these little keepers. It looks pretty easy. Just probably just flip it right in, huh? And that's it. Definitely not an issue. So I'm gonna look inside it now. I did this. Go ahead and look inside. See what we look like with the, what do you call it? The light on it. Let's see how bad it looks in there, if it is at all. It looks actually pretty clean. So I'm gonna get this light in here. Oh! I'll blind myself. All right. It looks, I don't know if you can see in there. I'm going to see if I can edit this later, but it looks really clean to me. So I'm going to leave it. It does. It looks really clean. I see one little spot maybe, but it's not worth fooling with it. You know, like the guy said, there's a little bit of things going on in there, but in reality, wow, it looks really clean. So I'm pleased with that. Let me turn off this light. So, one of the things I'm going to need to do is turn the petcock, or the drain, back on. I mean, I could flush it, I guess, but I don't think I'm going to. I think it's good. So, I'm going to go ahead and see if I can get it centered back in. And then, get this thing. It was a beautiful little funky, you know, I got the wiring and things, but see here, it's got to go over the top. I'm hoping that, okay, yeah, well, it was actually not too bad. I felt it go over something, but just want to make sure that we're not stripping anything. They said this lid is like a real fun. I watched the guy struggle, a couple people struggle with it, but let me see if I can get it on there right. I want to. I don't like what. I'm futzing with it here. Hold on. Can't seem to. Here, I'm gonna pull it up. Can't really pull it up now. I'm gonna go ahead and turn it off so I can get my fingers in there. I didn't had a fun time. I went ahead and used this. I had to tap it on there like 3 times like that. And then I started the threads, and then I noticed, oh, it's not right. So I went ahead and unloosened a little, and I hear it fall into the right threads. So you don't want to cross strip that thing. And it's kind of a tight, I scrunched it around and you hear the rubber. But anyway, it's about back where it was, obviously. So it should be okay there. I'm going to go ahead and do the key on and off 3 times and see what happens. I actually lost my hose on this, which is okay. Anyway, let me get it out of here carefully. There we go. Yeah. Yeah, I got a hose. I got this stuff all over the place here. Just leave it back there. Okay, so I'm going to put this in my trailer. Keep it safe until we use it to start got a brush pile back there we're going to burn. Okay. Well, theoretically you don't do that. So got to dispose of this properly, which I will do. Take it to the local what do you call it? Anyway, to the local refuge place. Like you take your oil. I could dump it into the oil is what I'll do. And they'll be fine. Okay, so that's closed. That's tight. Gotta go get my key. See where we get. Make sure we get everything out of the engine bay that's not supposed to be there. And then I will use a little coffee. Let me get my key. I do want to add is I've washed my hands probably 3 times. So I did take some gloves. I didn't use them though. But I'm going to wash my hands once more before I get my keys and try to get my truck. Kind of a little bit of fanatical about having clean inside. Go ahead and get up here and do our thing with this my handy dandy club. Anyway, this interior is super clean, so let's go ahead and I've heard it 3 times, so I can hear the pump running. Hear that? Okay, just kicked off. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it off again. Take the key out. I guess you do this like 3 times. So, I can hear the pump running again. Yep, hear the lip pump. It's all stock too. I don't have anything fancy on this. It's running. Okay. Alright, stopped. I'm going to do it one more time, I guess. Take the key out. I got 86,000, almost 87,000 miles. Okay, one more time. Here we go. It's buzzing away. Oh, gotta change its pitch there at the last bit. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and take a look inside real quick just to, I doubt there's any, I can hear this little igniter thing going. Keys on. Just want to make sure in the end there's no leaks. The way I do that is I'm going to put my hands around it, make sure that there's nothing there now. Not like that. I'm going to go ahead and use the rag around it real quick before I try to start it. And make sure it's all good that way. Yeah. Oh. I'm just running a rag around it real quick. Okay. Let's go ahead and start. See if she starts up. Gotta push the clutch in on this baby. Out of gear. That's that. Okay, so we're done here. That was pretty quick. It's amazing what they want to charge. Very disappointed. $175. I think the filter was probably 40, you know, but so we're talking there's probably some hazmat fee to get rid of the filter. So maybe it's 170 or 180 an hour, so 90. I want to say though, maybe they charge 45 minutes to do the job. I don't know. But in reality, I guess things can go wrong too, so they have a book job. There's no leaks on this. Everything looks good. Been happy with that change. So we got a nice clean filter in it. I'm going to change it every 15,000. It was pretty, seems like it's dirty. Maybe that's not that bad, but in reality, so, all right, that's it on this one. You can do it. That's all I can tell you. The only tricky part is when you put the filter on next time, I think I'd probably put a little diesel on the piece that slides down over it. Just get that a little bit lubed up, because when that pushes down, I seen the guy from Thoroughbred and he fought with his a little too. So mine was spinning, so I had to get that little rubber mallet and just kind of tap it on the just a little, and then I was able to get in, but then I still wasn't on the right thread. I had to back it off, and then you could feel it. It'll spin on nicely but snug. If you have to force it, stop, you know, back it up. So okie dokie, that's it for today.